Fellow Kenyans, let me begin my statement by paying tribute to the thousands of Kenyans who are engaged in public service right across our country. These patriots commit time as well as expertise to the service of our country in the health, education, and security sectors, amongst many others. My government is committed to ensuring that Kenya's public servants are well remunerated, well managed, well taken care of, in order that they can continue to deliver essential services to the people of this nation. To do that, however, we must manage the public sector in an affordable manner. 2 days ago, my government took the unprecedented step of revising term dates for our schools. That was necessitated by the unprotected teacher strike, which has disrupted the education of our children. For the last 3 weeks, millions of our children have stayed home, and when they have gone to school, they have learned little. Teachers have had a protracted dispute with the Teacher Service Commission. The disruption is familiar because it is only the latest in a long series of similar troubles. In the last 7 years, there have been 8 strikes or strike threats timed to be as disruptive as possible in the school calendar. The latest strike, therefore, comes under similar circumstances. In the past, we have lacked a framework to settle these disputes in a structured manner. Public servants who did the same work and had the same qualifications found themselves paid differently. In turn, some public servants developed a culture of indiscipline and confrontation. Kenyans want an end to disorder and unequal pay. In 2010, Kenyans chose for themselves a new constitution. We chose a new mode of governance in pursuit of fair and conclusive resolution of such disputes, as opposed to the strife and inequity of the past. The new constitution established the Salaries and Remuneration Commission for the first time in our history. And it conferred on it the mandate of managing the remuneration of public officers, including teachers. The mandate of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission is to set, review, as well as advise on the remuneration of all state and public servants, including teachers, as well as myself. And this with a view to ensuring that the public wage bill is fiscally sustainable. At the moment, fellow Kenyans, our public wage bill accounts for 52% of revenue. The global average for middle-income countries like ourselves is about 35%. Further, the public wage bill accounts for more than 10% of our gross domestic product, well above the middle-income country average of about 5%. All public and state officers, myself included, number approximately 680,000. Just about 1.5% of the entire Kenyan population. It is important to point out that of the Kenya shillings 1.1 trillion collected in revenue last year, Kenya shillings 568 billion went to pay our wages, meaning that 1.5% of our population consumed 52% of all taxes raised. Our debt, our maintenance, and our essential public services, as well as our development, must be paid for out of the remaining 48%. Fellow Kenyans, if the award were paid to teachers, the Salaries and Remuneration Commission would have no choice and would be forced to harmonize wages across the entire public sector. And based on last year's tax revenue, our wage bill would therefore rise from 52% to 61% of all revenues collected. Fellow Kenyans, the new constitution also set up the Teacher Service Commission as an independent constitutional body to recruit as well as to manage teachers. In the management of teachers and working with the SRC, the Teacher Service Commission has progressively enhanced the terms and conditions of teachers, and they have now been brought up to par with other civil servants. That, fellow Kenyans, is the equity that Kenyans expect under our new constitutional dispensation. Right now, teachers in Kenya, or a teacher in Kenya, is paid the same as other civil servants with similar qualifications and responsibilities. Indeed, a P1 certificate holder enters the service at Job Group G, while with other public servants of similar qualifications. Moreover, a graduate teacher enters public service at Job Group K, the same as engineers and other specialized professionals. No one can reasonably complain that teachers have been left behind. The claim that the Teacher Service Commission still owes our teachers money under the 1997 agreement is also not true. At the time, teachers were awarded a pay rise of between 150 and 200%, to be paid in 5 phases. The award has been settled in full. Indeed, a P1 teacher who earned a gross salary of $7,762 then, today earns a minimum of Kenya shillings 23,692, while the highest paid teacher, who took home then Kenya shillings 35,886, now today earns a minimum of Kenya shillings 140,089. In any case, fellow Kenyans, 55%, approximately 168,000 of all teachers employed by the Teacher Service Commission are in job group J to N, earning between 35,000 and 75,000 shillings a month. This, fellow Kenyans, is significantly higher than their counterparts in the private sector. Ironically, private schools often perform better than their public counterparts. The claim also that Kenyan teachers are paid less than their colleagues in the region is also not true. The lowest paid teacher in Kenya earns 7 times as much as his counterpart in Burundi. The lowest paid teacher in Uganda, for example, earns the equivalent of Kenya shillings 7,600, while the lowest paid teacher in Tanzania earns Kenya shillings 15,800, compared to the lowest paid Kenyan teacher who takes home over Kenya shillings 23,000. Indeed, Kenya's teachers are the 3rd highest paid on the continent, after Morocco and South Africa, both of whose economies are much larger than Kenya's. Fellow Kenyans, many of you will remember that the current dispute began when the industrial court awarded teachers a 50 to 60% pay rise. The Teacher Service Commission, as well as the Salaries and Review Commission, took the view that their constitutional mandate had been usurped. They appealed, and they will be heard on Tuesday, the 22nd of September, 2015. There has been no final determination of this award. Contrary to the assertions in the public domain, the Supreme Court did not make any determination regarding the award. It decided only that it lacked the jurisdiction to hear an application challenging the exercise of discretion by the Court of Appeal. Another reason for the appeal was the advice of the Treasury that paying the award in the amount requested would seriously distort our public finances and grievously hurt our economy. In this financial year, Kenya shillings 174 billion was set aside to pay teachers, up from Kenya shillings 139 billion the previous year. If the award were paid, we would have had to find an additional Kenya shillings 118 billion to meet the salary and pension obligations of the award. The fact of the matter is that to pay this award, we would have had to raise VAT from the current 16% to 22%. Or alternatively, borrow money or suspend critical development programs and essential services in health, education, and in security. Raising taxes, borrowing more money, or cutting back on development programs will raise the cost of living, slow down our economy, and increase unemployment and poverty. None of these options is tenable. Our country must live within its means. Fellow Kenyans, as Minister of Finance, I personally engage the teachers' unions in matters regarding the pay and welfare of all teachers. That was then under the old constitution. Now under our new constitutional dispensation, the TSC, in consultation with the SRC, has engaged unions as well as other key stakeholders in good faith in an attempt to settle this dispute amicably.